Chat About It, the new interactive internet radio station of the future. Chataboutit.com.
Go.
So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, brought to you today on iPhones, Android, Palm, and BlackBerry by the Stitcher app for mobile devices, and also brought to you today by 1-800-DialDJs.com. If you need live entertainment for your party, wedding, bar mitzvah, or corporate event in the New York, New Jersey, or Philadelphia metro areas, check out 1-800-DialDJs.com or call 1-800-DialDJs for a real good time. So where was I before the commercial? Oh yeah, Mr. Media is recorded live from the new media capital of the world and hometown of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Storm, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and oh yeah, Yankees fans, the American League East leading Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay, Florida. If you're a pro or college football fan and you haven't yet read Pete Williams' landmark investigation of the NFL draft, simply titled The Draft, you're not quite the fan you think you are. Pete Williams went behind the scenes not just of draft day in 2005, but of the entire process, interviewing pro scouts, coaches, and GMs, as well as college coaches, highly touted players, and their agents, to produce an incredibly revealing portrait of how things really work in the land of million-dollar bonus babies. Now, if that's all Williams had ever produced, it would be a pretty good career of which to boast. But he's also written 5 core performance books with Phoenix, Arizona-based athletic trainer Mark Verstegen, the latest of which is Core Performance Women. In his free time, Williams also hosts a regular show, on Blog Talk Radio called The Fitness Buff. He's also someone I've been proud to call a friend for many years. Pete, welcome back to Mr. Media.
Thanks, Bob.
I can't hear Pete.
Let's try again.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
I'll just talk to you for a minute while we try to connect all the audio. And I'm holding up, for those of you able to watch on video, this is Pete's book, The Draft. You may have already seen it on the slide. It is a tremendous resource for anyone who's a football, pro, or college fan. Pete also writes for a number of newspapers and magazines about sports. Frequently I run into him down at Tropicana Field covering the Rays. Hopefully we'll hear him in a moment.
We hear him. Can you not hear him?
I cannot hear Pete, no. I can hear you, but I can't hear Pete.
Pete, talk again.
I'm still here. Any luck?
Let's go to break.
Well, folks, we're going to keep working on the technical issues for just a minute. Let me tell you a little bit about Pete. I'll just read from the book. He has, of course, written about the business of sports for publications such as USA Today and Street and Smith's Sports Business Journal. And among his other books are Fun is Good with Mike Veck. Of course, you all baseball fans know that rhymes with wreck. And he lives here in the Tampa Bay area, which is why I'm able to occasionally go have lunch with him. I still can't hear him. I'm hoping that'll be fixed in a moment. Pete, I appreciate your patience hanging out there while we get this straight. Yeah, I'm not much of a talker without somebody to talk with, you know? Not something I have to do very often. Pete is also a triathlete. He likes to, I don't know what attracts him to this, but he likes to do these Ironman type races, and I think he's crazy. But if you saw Pete, you'd see that he's built for it, which may be the biggest difference between the two of us. I can walk around the block. Pete can run I don't know. I don't know if he's done real whole marathons, 26 miles, but would not surprise me. If you go to his website, petewilliams.net, you can see more information. I think there's information there about his racing, and he's also on Facebook. You can add him as a friend on Facebook. Just look up Pete Williams. Don't choose the NBC correspondent Pete Williams. That's another guy, very different. What else can I tell you about Pete while we try to get straightened out on the sound? Pete's show, The Fitness Buff, is frequently broadcast live from a nudist resort, which I had known Pete for a while before I made that connection that's why the show was called The Fitness Buff. Everybody get it now? Yeah. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I'm not that clever. Let me see what else I can tell you about my friend Pete. I mentioned his website, didn't I? petewilliams.net. He's also a sports memorabilia expert. He has written 2 books on the subject. He wrote Card Sharks, and he also wrote Sports Memorabilia for Dummies. And both of those books are still in print, and you can still order them. We're still working out the bumps here. This is brand new technology for all of us, bringing in the 2 video feeds and slides and all the different types of sound. So we appreciate you bearing with it. And I wish I could say that I thought that someone was just.
Try again.
Okay, I hear a producer. I don't hear Pete.
No.
Wait,
here.
Pete?
Can you hear me, Bob?
Yeah, there's Pete. Hey, Pete.
All right.
Welcome officially to the show. How are you?
Thanks, and thanks for probably one of the longest introductions on record. I appreciate that.
Thank God I've known you for a few years and can think of things off the top of my head to say about you. My God. Hey, Pete, the NFL draft, of course, was just completed in the last week. And, in your book, I don't want to quiz you about last week's draft because, frankly, I'm not that up on it. I know some of the highlights, but you focused a great deal on the process behind football's big day. What surprised you the most from the research that you did?
Well, I think that you realize it's a year-long process for all the ubiquitous nature of the commentators and everything else. It really is a year-long process that begins for the professional scouts about right now. I mean, they're really going to be digging in for the 2011 draft within the next few weeks. And it's not something they just start on in January with the Senior Bowl and the Combine in February. It's something that really is a year-long process. I guess you could say even longer than that because they have at least one eye on these players as soon as they start showing pro potential, which for a lot of these guys can be their freshman or sophomore years.
One of the things I wonder is how much of it is set in stone weeks and even a month or more before the actual draft. And the reason I ask that is very often, and there's exceptions, but very often it seems like the player has already made contact, has been in touch with the team knows whether the player wants to come to their team or not. It seems very orchestrated.